humans aren't pathetic. We invented Metallica. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
That's right, damn it.
The hardest I laughed the whole film.
Fucking perfect line. This is episode number something of I Hope You Suffer. Yeah, 5. We're reverting back to 5. Episode 5.
Yeah.
I think it's 359, but I didn't look it up, and I don't care.
There's a 5 in there.
I would not know.
I'm the human that invented Metallica.
What the fuck was his name? Johnny.
The chainsaw guy.
Yeah. King.
I'll be old one arm.
That checks out. Surprise, Katie's back.
Hello, I'm here.
Katie was dead for a couple weeks. We revived her.
It happens.
28 weeks later style, or 28, whatever the new movie is. It's got apparently huge dongs in it.
Oh, jeez.
It's crazy. It's out of control.
We're going to talk about dinosaurs
in
a mining.
I have some news about dongs later, by
huge
the way.
dongs in a mining facility.
I wouldn't say they were huge, but there were dongs. So we'll see.
28 dongs later.
Yeah, we're going to talk about 2018's Dinosaurs in a Mining Facility. A movie title that gives you exactly what it says. Dinosaurs in a mining facility. And numerous characters let you know that there are dinosaurs in this mining facility.
You know, for once we weren't.
I'm going to go on a limb and say
too.
Kit was on board. Katie,
probably
very mixed.
I don't know how. I felt this was like really hard to make it. I didn't rate it. I don't really know how to rate it because I don't know why, but for some reason I thought that this was going to be a Japanese movie. Like an old Japanese movie.
I mean,
and then when I pulled it up and said it was from 2018, I was like, oh, so I didn't know what to expect going in, but I will say, like, I didn't have the worst time, and I did actually laugh out loud more than once.
I think we can all agree that Kentucky is the Japan of the United States.
Yeah, I'd say so.
So
I blind bought this from Justin DeClue's, like, little Blu-ray label. Like, originally thinking it was a movie that he made because he is on the commentary track for it. And not realizing until I got it that I was like, oh, somebody else made this. Whatever. Perfect title. I'm in either way. And I watched it and I was like, this is incredible. It's like that perfect combination of, like, bad and extremely awesome. So I was immediately on board. Like, I think, like, the first time somebody was like, are there dinosaurs in this mining facility? I was like, yes, I'm in. Perfect. And then,
wow.
I think, so, like, I missed the Metallica line the first time I watched it, and I immediately cracked up watching it this time. But I think, for me, the dude yelling at the woman in the bar, who was, like, not even bothering him.
You can't just stare at the goods.
Just fucking killing me. He's just like, what? What? That, and when he freaks out in his car, I was like, relatable.
Yeah. That man just screaming nonstop.
I was like, just screaming and then crying. I was like, this is just me leaving work every day.
Screaming, crying, throwing up?
Yep.
So yeah, like, I don't remember why it took so long to get to, because I was like, immediately, I was like, we have to do this on I Hope You Suffer. And, I don't know. I'm glad we're finally getting to it, because I love this movie. It's very stupid in the best way. And it's another one of those ones where it's like, it took, like, if you watch through the credits, it says something in it that they started filming in 2013 and didn't wrap on the movie until 2018. And so it was like one of those ones where it's like clearly like a labor of love. It's not like the effects, clearly incredible, state of the art special effects. Like
state-of-the-art PlayStation 1 special effects.
the scene when it shows like the dad and son or whatever drinking soda, when they're like the one guy's like explaining the master plan, where it's like it almost looks like cutout like magazine cutouts of people that they're moving around. It's so funny.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, like it's kind of like goes back to like bloody muscle bodybuilder in hell, where I'm like this is clearly made by people who just were like, I want to make a movie, and made a movie and stuck it out until they were finished. And I appreciate that way more than some of the other absolute garbage we watch that had like all of like the current Polonia Brothers stuff, where it's just like the same shitty shark animation in like every movie. So I don't know, I fully on board. Like I said, I assumed Kit was like, Kit, what was your initial thoughts?
So where it really had me was when the guy looks at the poster while applying for the job, and it like scrolls down and it says maybe dinosaurs. Yeah, it's this is the type of movie that like all of the like Sharknadoes or even Velocipastors want to actually be, where it's like just making a goofy thing in earnest instead of being like
purposely
so in on the joke. Yeah. Look at how crazy this is.
I tried to get time again to like watch with the commentary track, because I know they talk about like some of the like more ridiculous shit in the movie, but like one of the things I very specifically remember them talking about is like the opening scene when the dude's mom is killed at the park.
Yes.
Like I think they were supposed to do some sort of like special effect to make the guy like child sized, and they were just like, fuck it. And so there's just like the adult version play him as a child, and it's so funny. Katie, initial thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I can see why the screaming, there's like 10 minutes in the minute, you were already talking about it, 10 minutes in the middle of the movie where the main character Ian is just like screaming.
Just like has a breakdown.
I obviously did not like that part. However, I did, like I said, I found a lot of the jokes to be very funny. Like they are stupid, but they're stupid in a funny way, not like
I think they're like pretty clever for like what like I don't think you would expect like how clever some of the jokes are in this for like a movie called Dinosaurs in a Mining Facility.
Well, and like one of the things that I love is when people say the titles of their thing in the thing. And at first I was like, okay, I'm going to make a joke about how you can make this a drinking game. Every time they say the title drink, I think you would die.
You would die. Yeah.
So maybe don't do that.
Well,
but yeah, and like it was totally like, I didn't have a bad time watching it at all. Like I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, like me personally, I would not watch it again, but considering as I thought this was a vastly different type of movie, I was like, it was like surprisingly very funny. I was like very here for like how bonkers off the rails the story gets for no reason. And I found the insanely bad CG like actually sort of charming.
Yeah, I think
a way.
It's very endearing.
I kind of like befriended the director on Instagram, because I think I'd posted something about watching it, and they'd like followed I Hope You Suffer and then my personal account, and like they've sent me periodically just like animatics of shit for a sequel. So like, cause did you guys, either of you watch all the way through the credits?
Yeah.
I did not. I was
Okay.
tired.
There,
I took a nap.
there's just like this. It's revealed in the credits that Chainsaw Dude is still alive, just floating around in space, and that
Hell yeah.
the weird fucking brain thing and like a muscle room is like trying to get him or whatever. And so like some of like one of the little animatic things they sent me was a scene dealing with the Chainsaw Dude getting talked to by Tyrannus. I forget whatever its name is, but I'm in. I can't wait.
Yeah. Sold.
Yeah, so this movie...
I need more Johnny Anaconda.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, I knew it was something with a snake, and I couldn't, like, pull it. Him call everybody Poindexter is so good.
Incredible.
I love when he said, "You reminded me of myself
When I was a Poindexter." Oh my god, this movie rocks. Yeah, we can get into the plot if you want.
Okay. It's complicated, so hang tight.
It does kind of go fucking
most-
off the rails towards the end.
There's the most insane twist at the end.
I also,
yeah.
I meant to write down what it was because now I can't remember. There's like a run-on joke throughout where every time someone's cell phone rings, it plays the same song.
Yeah.
It's Jungle Boy. It's the like MIDI version of Jungle Boy.
Okay, I was like, that is
So good.
Funny. Okay, so also, I hope I can hear it myself. I'm in a new office and I have like nothing in it, so I hear an insane echo. So if anyone hears me echoing, it's just
Yeah,
Katie's a hologram.
I don't hear you.
yeah, I'm digital now.
We replaced
so
Katie
sorry.
with AI.
I am AI, so
Katie's about to say
you guys know
weird racist shit throughout the episode.
Yeah, you know how much I love AI. I have now become one with AI. So
Welcome our new
This is
co-host, Grok.
This is like Lawnmower Man.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's me. Okay, so the beginning of the movie, it starts showing us some stars, and it's basically this like over talking about like how humans are arrogant to assume that like we're the only intelligent life in the universe. Duh. And also talking about how, guess what, dinosaurs used to exist and they were more powerful than us.
Correct.
And this is when we're introduced to Dr. Henry Stone. And there's a joke about him at the very... Oh, you know what? I think it might have been after that literally made me laugh so hard. So just remember his name is Dr. Henry Stone. This is kind of weird, though, because they're showing us this footage that's, like, black and white, like, old-timey, as if he is, like, in the past. And he's basically, like, talking about how he was, like, ridiculed by his peers because he... thought that there was life outside of the Earth or whatever. And eventually he discovers a new planet in a solar system close to ours. And they're showing us, like, this black and white footage of what looks like the old dinosaur shows you would watch, where it was, like, a toy dinosaur moving around with, like, plastic toy plants and stuff. And he's basically saying that, like, this planet that he discovered has dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are alive. It's a dinosaur planet. And he's saying that, like, we don't have a way to get to the dinosaurs. I guess spaceships and stuff aren't invented at this time. And he's sad about it because he just wants to explore their beauty, which I really relate to.
Just if only there was a portal that would help them out.
I thought he said he wanted to explore their body.
That also. They're beautiful bodies.
Much better movie.
I got a hot tip that the sequel's actually a porno. So,
That
written by Chuck Tingle.
Yeah, there's a lot of sexual tension in this one, so I'm not surprised. This is when Dr. Stone tells us that he has a double PhD in paleontology and astronomy. Whole package, if you ask me. And so he introduces us to this dinosaur planet, which is called Tyrannus, which is great. Okay, then it cuts to, like, this video is playing in a building that a security guard comes into. So it's kind of just like an infomercial kind of thing. And the security guard comes in, he's looking around with him little flashlight. And this is one of my favorite jokes in movies that are like low budget, where like they take whatever set they have. This to me looks like some kind of abandoned office building or something. But they just like literally print out on a piece of paper mining facility and like Times New Roman or whatever, and just like put it on the door. And I'm like, that's the kind of shit I like. So that's the first thing you see. Just a piece of paper that says mining facility. But then the doors bust open, actually from the POV of the door. So we get a new POV here. And we see the guard getting like scared and shooting or whatever. And then all of a sudden this other guy comes in and says, "Step aside, Poindexter." He's got a chainsaw. And he chainsaws the dinosaur. I never thought of that.
What a king. I
don't know. So obviously, I wrote chainsaws a PS1 looking T-Rex. And I think it's the security guard goes, "What the hell was that?" And then he says, "Don't you know that there's dinosaurs in this mining facility?" This is Johnny Anaconda. Also,
incredible.
I know normally I do accents or voices for people and say they don't really sound like that. That's like literally the voice that he's doing, so I'll be doing it.
His voice rocks.
The coolest.
If they want somebody to do the audiobook version, I nominate myself. So just pass that along.
Yeah, somebody write the book. We'll do it.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so he says, "Don't you know that there's dinosaurs in the mining facility?" And then he looks straight at the camera with his chainsaw, and then there's an explosion. Duh. And then we see the title.
If your movie doesn't have an explosion into the title, what are you doing?
Yeah, what's the point?
I don't care if your movie is like Phantom Thread or some fucking hoity-toity.
God, that would have been sick.
Just put a fucking explosion in there into the opening title.
I think it goes a long way, to be honest.
Every Wes Anderson movie could be knocked up an entire star if there's just an explosion for the opening credits.
That's true. Okay, so we see the title, which, as we said, is Dinosaur in a Mining Facility.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys caught on. It's Dinosaurs in a Mining Facility.
Yes. So now we're introduced to our main character, whose name is Ian, and he's just sitting on a bench in a park, and he has a memory... So we already kind of talked about this, but he has a memory of himself as a kid. And when I say as a kid, it is him as a grown-ass man.
They just put like a fucking hat on him or whatever. I guess he has a hat on the rest of the movie too, but...
Yeah, but it's like a little kid with like red baseball cap with like a red shirt and then like shorts.
It's just funny because like at some moments he's like on his knees walking around, and sometimes he's just standing up like normal, and the entire time he's supposed to be like a little kid. His
child version of himself. And also he is there with his mom, who is just the same guy who plays Dr. Stone, pretending to be this guy's mom. And basically, his mom is telling him about how his dad's a loser, but don't worry about it because he's going to be able to achieve his dreams. And then they like play on the play place or whatever. Eventually, it starts raining, and the mom is like, "This was like so insane to me." So it starts raining, and the mom's like, "Oh, we have to go. Come on." And of course, Ian is like, no, I still want to play. And he goes down the slide. And then as he's going down the slide, it's like a shot from the other side of the park of him going down the slide. So his back is facing the rest of the park, and she's standing on the other side. A dude in the background just like walks up and just like point blank for no reason shoots her, and she dies. Because like, not gonna lie, I was expecting her to get like struck by lightning or something like that. Because
it's such
the rain, I don't know.
Such an insane way to start your movie that like comes back later, but like for most of your movie, you're just like, oh, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah, and so he runs over to her and is like, sad because she got shot at the park, and her dying words are, "Make something of yourself." This "make something of yourself" is like weirdly the message of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is beautiful, I think. Okay, so it switches back to present day where he gets a phone call, and like I said, every time a phone rings it plays that ringtone, which I thought this is the first time we hear it, obviously, but then as it kept happening it just was like funnier.
This dude is the best talking on the phone actor I've ever seen in a movie. he's so funny dealing with his like wife on the other end, like every time she calls him.
Yeah, and like
I think this opening one is the only time you actually hear her. The rest of the time it's just like his side of the conversation. But when he like it all comes to a head when he's in that little parking lot and he just throws his phone.
Yeah. So
relatable.
he gets a phone call. He picks it up and it's his wife, and she's basically just like, "Are you sitting at that park again?" And he goes, "My mom died." Like most of the time when he's talking, he's like yelling, and so he just yells, "My mom died."
Hey, yeah, give him a break. His mom died.
Yeah,
seriously. And she goes, "That was 15 years ago." And I was like, well, let's just. And then he's like, "They never caught him." I don't know. This conversation, it goes off the rails because essentially she's basically saying, she's like being to him about his job at the job factory.
Oh my god, the job factory is so fucking funny.
And she basically starts talking about how he really needs to think about his life. He's only making minimum wage, but he needs to like provide for his family and his kids. His rant about the kids later, amazing.
Yeah,
but she's basically like, I'm taking the kids, I'm going to stay at my mom, figure it out. And of course he's like upset about it. So then he goes to work at the job factory where his boss says, "You can't just sit around thinking about your dead mother all the time. You're fired." So he gets fired immediately. And then he's also...
what a way to get fired.
I know.
Right?
And also, every single time he ends a conversation with somebody in this very beginning, they say, "Make something of yourself." So the wife says it, the boss that fires him says it, and then he gets kicked out of a bar for being drunk, I guess. He seems fine, but the bartender also says that to him. And then he sees a flyer that says, "Make something of yourself," and it's an advertisement for a job at Whammo Corp. Then he is really rough with this flyer, but it like switches over to Whammo Corp, where we see Dr. Stone, who, like I said in the beginning, was the guy talking about how he's got PhDs, and which is why I was confused about why that was black and white, but it makes sense later. Well, so Dr. Stone basically, yeah, Dr. Stone asks, like, I was calling him the intern. I don't think he's an intern. He's just like a guy that works for the company. And he's basically just like, why has nobody applied to this job? Didn't you put up the flyers? And he goes, "Yeah, I put them up, but I don't know. They must have seen the fine print." And it like zooms back to the flyer where the fine print says, "Maybe dinosaurs." There's like this, so then there's like this dude that comes from corporate that like for some reason is like an aggressive guy who like might kill you at any moment. I don't really understand what's going on with him.
Yeah, the corporate dudes are like essentially portrayed as what seems like FBI Men in Black type people.
Yeah,
and like
that's how I feel about every corporate person I've ever interacted with.
That's true. That's true.
There is like an entire like universe that they have made with this movie where there's like a Waymo like Instagram page for like the soda company and like all of this shit that's like for this like insane little movie. It rocks.
Okay, well, like fake product placement is like my favorite thing.
Oh yeah, I want this soda company to be real so bad.
I was getting like Smoking Man vibes from this guy, but like not mysterious, if that makes sense. There's like this crazy, so they're basically like arguing, they're talking about like really vague things because like they're not revealing to us like what's actually going on in the movie yet. But one of the things that made me laugh was like Dr. Stone is like kicking out the intern guy, and he's like, "Would you like go down to the store and like get me whatever?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so rude. Would you like a sausage?" And the guy, the Smoking Man, let's just call him, is just like staring at him, and then he like whispers to the guy, he's like, he doesn't want any sausage. And then the guy like leaves, but he's like really aggressive with the door. I don't know. The whole thing was just like very weird, but like funny. So
I also like that they're clearly like it looks just like they're in someone's like trailer.
Yeah, but like
They just,
not well kept trailer.
Again, they just put up like paper signs and shit.
Mm-hmm. The Dr. Stone has a map of the world up behind him, and it just has like whammo whammo.
Well, he is a doctor.
I mean, yeah. Okay, so vague talk. Then at the end of their like vague talk, talking about their plans or whatever, like you're essentially getting the vibe that like the Smoky Man dude is like trying to be like telling Dr. Stone what to do, but Dr. Stone is like, I'm gonna do whatever, even though you're funding me, whatever. So then they start mentioning something about a portal. And, like, as this is happening, Ian just, like, walks in and is like, portal?
What's that about a portal?
Were you guys talking about a portal? I'm just here for a job. And then Dr. Stoner's just like, oh, no, I was talking about a metaphorical portal. And I was like, good one.
That's a good cover-up.
Exactly, yeah. So they immediately hire him, and they're like, here you go, here's your hard hat vest, go ahead, get to work. And Ian's like, great, what am I supposed to do, though? And so then they tell us the 3 rules of whammo, which let me back up a little bit, because whammo is a soda. Oh my god, I have a soda talk. This reminded me. I'll get it in a little bit. They make soda.
Yeah.
So, like, that's like their overall. I don't even want to say it's like a shell company, because they like factually make soda.
I assume this is just the true story of like Jones Soda.
Okay, let me see if I can walk without this connecting. I'm gonna see if it's gonna. I'm like at opposite ends of the house. Okay,
real experimental episode here.
Yeah. You guys are the first ones here for
it. We haven't got to it yet, but I like the idea that all of it comes down to this person wanting to like create an energy drink with dinosaur blood. Perfect. That would be a good soda talk, honestly.
I got so excited whenever it got to that part. I was like, hell yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, their sodas all look pretty good.
I like the branding. Okay, so the reason that I like backed up to tell you it's a soda company is because they basically tell us the 3 rules of the soda company, which is keep your head down, keep your mouth shut, don't ask any questions. And if that isn't good branding, I don't know. I'm drinking that soda.
I mean,
you know
if I ever started a company, that's the 3 rules I'm gonna run it by.
Okay. Mid-movie break. My soda talk is that I got the Sprite tea.
Oh, God. It sounds so bad.
I don't know what to think. It is an interesting color because it looks like tea but watered down. But I've had it for a while, so I've been holding it to try. It's very fizzy, obviously.
I feel like everyone I've seen try that has said it's gross, so...
It smells just straight up like Sprite.
But I also don't like tea, so I'm kind of out to begin with.
I do like tea. You know, I actually kind of like this. It's kind of like, you guys don't like tea, obviously, but have you had, like, brisk?
I mean, yeah, but, like, you know, I've had, like, a
Not
sip
enjoyably.
and been like, no thank you.
Yes, derogatory. I like tea. I like brisk, except it's insanely too sweet for me. So I would equate this to like brisk, but very, very...
With more sugar?
No, less.
Oh, really?
Like, this is way less sweet than brisk is to me. Like, I know you can get... I'm talking about just like plain brisk that has sugar in it, obviously. And then, like, you can still taste the Sprite. I don't really know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't hate it. Like, I can drink all of it, I think, but I like kind of don't really understand the point of it because there's no caffeine. So it's like, why?
Yeah, I don't.
Why
that
this?
feels like
You know
a
what I'm
thing
saying?
where, like, I think Coke and Sprite was just like, well, we have tea and we have Sprite. Let's put them together.
Yeah.
It's how, like, every
Again,
cereal company now just has, like, those little dot versions of their cereal where it's clearly just, like, runoffs. That they're like, we'll just put this in a bag and serve it to people.
Yeah.
I
I'm
need
trying to
that
see
fucking.
like
There's like a vanilla float Dr. Pepper that's supposed to be out or coming out, and I need it
Oh yeah, I want that.
how is that different than just like vanilla Dr. Pepper though?
because it's gonna taste like ice cream with Dr. Pepper.
But that's
The
like the vanilla cream whatever. No?
Well, they had a cream soda one, but like this is different because it's gonna be like ice cream.
Cream soda tastes like ice cream float to me though.
Unbelievable. Here off the
I don't know.
podcast.
I'm not
yeah, different, wildly
I'm not
different.
okay, well,
The
this
the
is
Dr
fine.
Pepper ice cream that's like their Dr Pepper float ice cream. That shit slaps, and I want it in liquid form.
Okay, yeah. I did try that Dr. Pepper shake from Whataburger and it was really good. So
Oh, it sounds
I guess
so
I
good.
I guess I see the difference. I'm
There's
just
also
saying.
there's like I think like Mug Root Beer has like a float version that's supposed to be out or coming out too. I want that as well. But I mean, I assume that's just gonna
Yeah.
taste like root beer with like some cream in it. So
Yeah, I did see like there's a bunch of new Mountain Dews, but I think I'm
hard
done
pass.
Mountain
Yeah,
Dew.
I'm not trying any
Unless
of those.
something No, unless something like crazy comes out, I think I'm kind of like done like I don't know.
Well, I think a
it,
couple of the Mountain Dews are just like not even new. They're just like redo of like the summer ones where they have like I think one of them's like that popsicle one,
yeah.
and like
yeah.
one of them's like the melon one or something. I think it's just like they just brought some of them back for the summer, but I need that.
I know
Dr.
there was
Pepper.
supposed to be like a new Baja Blast something, but like I don't know, whatever. I also have a tropical Sprite, which like tropical Sprite, the original used to be like my favorite thing ever, but I don't want to try. I've been not wanting to try it. So Sprite tea, it's fine. I feel like I say this all the time. I feel like it'd be fine if you used it as like a mixed drink.
Like
But
all
again,
of
I
yours
just
are
like
just like if this had alcohol in it, it'd be way better.
I'm like it'd be fine. Yeah, I feel like you could pretty much drink anything gross.
This
if
vodka,
you're, like,
if you just added
something.
some alcohol to it, it'd be a lot
Yeah.
better.
Like I would probably put bourbon in this though, or whiskey. But anyways, all right, that was your whammo, whatever the fuck break for Sprite tea, which it's fine. Okay, so now we're back. Ian suits up, and he goes down to the entrance of the facility.
What did you guys think seeing the special effects of this mining facility for the first time?
It was pretty great.
It's up
Yeah.
there with Jurassic Park, if you ask
Impressive.
me.
Yeah, there's like no comparison, honestly. And he's this made me laugh really hard. He like goes down there and the door is being blocked by a guy who is essentially just like, "What are you looking at?" And he's like, I nothing. Like I'm trying to get into the facility and you're standing in front of the door." And he's like, "Oh, sure. Everyone wants to know how old One Arm lost his arm." And I don't know why I found that so funny,
Old One
but I
Arm
was like,
rocks.
"Old One Arm."
I love a
And-
character that like, or like the joke of like somebody like meeting a new character and they just completely like ignore whatever they said and just go into like whatever their own little spiel is.
Yeah, the thing
Yeah.
they want to talk about.
Yeah, because he's like, you know what I just said, and Ian's like, not really, and then he just kind of like goes on this like talk about. He basically says, you know, he was like down, whatever. He tells the story about it was dinosaurs, right? And Ian of course laughs because like, why would there be dinosaurs? And
In a mining facility?
yeah, right. Old One Arm is essentially just like, okay, well, be careful unless you want to be or young one leg, and he just like keeps on going, and he's like, you know, whatever their appetite says, and Ian's just like, okay, whatever. So he goes down into the mine where like for some reason there's like an old-timey radio playing old-timey music in the background, and there's just these two guys down there breaking rocks and pondering essentially like what it means to be a miner and like what's going on down there. And the one guy is basically like, what are we doing down here? Why are we breaking these rocks? Like, what are we doing this for? And the other guy's just like, I don't know, shut up or whatever.
Keep your head down. Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. Don't ask questions. So they're hearing like growls and stuff, and the guy's like, "I've been hearing things," and the other guy's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like dinosaur things. There's like, duh. There's like echo growling, whatever. We're reintroduced to Johnny Anaconda, who is the guy from the beginning, Poindexter's, because the Smoky Man guy is like, "Where's your?" Basically, is like asking
Like, where's your
Doctor
muscle
Stone, like,
at?
"Where's
Yeah.
your protection or whatever?" And so he calls him in, introduces him as like the reinforcer or whatever. He's got a chainsaw. Okay, so back down in the mining facility, a T-Rex comes, and he just like off camera eats one of the guys earlier that was like talking about what were they doing or whatever. And so like Ian sees the T-Rex and is like, "Oh my god," and he's like running away. He also has to hide from like a Dilophosaurus pack that comes through, and he basically just starts like yelling, because him scared, and then he runs out of the facility. So he goes into Dr. Stone's office and is basically just like, "Hi, I need to put in my 2 weeks notice. Because nobody told me there were dinosaurs in the mining facility." And then he like leaves.
I don't know why, but I have to put in my 2 weeks. It's so fucking funny to me.
Yeah.
It's like hysterical because it's like life and death, but he's still trying to be like conscientious. And he's like, "Nobody told me there were dinosaurs in the mining facility." And the intern guy who like put up the flyers was like, "I did. May contain dinosaurs." So he runs out and basically immediately goes to a saloon. This is the scene we were talking about in the beginning where he like, he sits down next to this woman that he sits down next to her and starts yelling at her for like side-eyeing him as he's just like sitting here talking to this other guy about how much he like hates his job or whatever. Ian is like freaking out.
The first time he yells "what" at her, I fucking lost it.
So he's like yelling at the top of his lungs about how like he's got a family he's got to provide for. Why do his kids want juice boxes and tube socks? He never had juice boxes. Just deal with it. He's like yelling at the top of his lungs. I think that maybe he also is talking about the dinosaurs. I can't really tell. So she's like drinking her beer and like not really looking at him, but like giving that look that like, "Can you believe this guy's fucking yelling next to me" kind of thing. And then he's just like, what? I'm married. I'm taken, lady, or whatever. And like he just continues to yell at her. Meanwhile, randomly outside, there's like these FBI security type guys. This scene might be my favorite because it's so stupid. So they're sitting in the car and they're basically like, the one guy is like the lead detective, whatever they're supposed to be, and the other guy, he's a rookie. He keeps calling him rookie. That's how you know he's a rookie. And they're basically like doing this stakeout because they want to put a tracking device on Ian's car. So they're like waiting there, and the guy's like, "Why don't I just go do it now?" He's like, "No, this is a slow thing. We have to be stealthy. Make sure nobody's watching us." And the guy's like, "Oh, that guy's watching us."
That guy over there.
There's just a dude standing in the parking lot eating a corn dog and just like staring directly at them. And there's a shot of like from like the corn dog eater's POV just like staring into the car with the two guys sitting there looking shady as shit because they're wearing sunglasses and like that little earpiece dongly thing. And I don't know why, but it really cracked me up. And so they're like, "Okay, well," the other guy's like, "Let's just hang out. We'll wait till the guy leaves." And the guy rolls down the window. He's like, hey, take a hike. And he tosses his Slurpee. And it gets all over the guy's shirt. And he drops his corn dog. And then he like runs away and is like crying and stuff. And it killed me.
Incredible.
I forget if it's when he's in the bar or if it's when after he leaves the bar and he blows up on his wife on the phone. But the line, "Why can't they just live their life without juice boxes and tube socks?" fucking cracked me up. I think it's when he's in the bar when he's just ranting.
He's
But
in,
like,
yeah, he is.
why can't they
He's
just
just,
live their
like,
life without juice boxes and tube socks?
That's what I want to
That's
know.
a question
Stop,
for the ages.
Yep.
yeah, stop spoiling your kids.
Yeah.
He's like,
No more
I never
tube
had
socks.
toy socks. Yeah, we're taking tube
Regular
socks from
socks.
the children. Yeah. So poor corn dog guy cries and runs away. The "Hey buddy, take a hike" really got me.
The like just him just staring is so funny.
And also because it's like they're trying to be like low key, but then like yelling out your window and throwing like a slushy or soda at somebody is like they're gonna remember that for the rest of their life. Anyway. So yeah, meanwhile Ian is still inside the bar and he's like screaming at the girl. This is when he starts screaming at her or whatever. As this is happening, the security guy, him like full on sprinting across like the whole parking lot was also very funny to me. But he basically like is able to tape the tracking device to Ian's car.
Oh, but it takes so long. It's just like
takes a really long
it
time.
just looks like he's got like a tape measure and then some like duct tape that he just like tapes it to. But also,
Yeah.
we have to acknowledge maybe the best joke, like best thought out joke in this movie of the bartender kicking Ian out because no minors allowed in the bar.
Yeah, we don't serve minors. And Ian's like,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
so he leaves. Yeah. And then somebody else goes, that guy needs some brain pills. Shit. And I don't know why, but that made me laugh really
I
hard.
also like that the entire time he's leaving, he's still yelling at that lady. He's like, "What?"
Yeah. Poor lady. Again, he sat next to her. She's just trying to chill. Anyways. So Ian goes out to the car. There's like this whole thing where like the FBI guy is still like laying next to it, and the guy talking to him is like saying all these puns, like the eagle's left the nest, the hen is in the, I don't know, whatever. He's saying stuff like that, but luckily, right before Ian is about to discover him, his phone rings and it's his wife, and he essentially starts like yelling at her again. Ian turns his back. And the FBI guy is able to like run back across the
Sprints
parking
back
lot.
across.
Kind of does like a Terminator run type
Oh yeah,
thing.
he's like very T-1000.
Yeah. But it's fine because they put the tracker on the car. So eventually Ian freaks out, throws the phone, gets in his car, and drives
There's
home.
also he throws the phone, and there's the sound of like broken glass and like a cat yowling.
Yeah, raring.
Like
Yeah. Poor cat. I want to know no cats were harmed.
I
by the
also
way.
him freaking out and throwing down like the mining helmet and that vest for like
Yeah.
a minute is so funny.
So he drives off. They've got the scanner. They call Johnny Anaconda and are like, hey, we've got him. So Johnny Anaconda goes to Ian's house and knocks on the door. Ian answers, and Johnny is essentially about to chainsaw him in half when he gets a phone call. And Johnny's just like, oh, hold on a second. He like puts down the chainsaw. But like,
Ian just
Ian's
stands there and waits.
reaction, yeah, Ian's reaction to like getting ready to like defend himself from a chainsaw and then being just like, oh, okay, like like Johnny's like, oh, hold on a minute. He's like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. It was very funny. And so basically it's the intern, and he basically calls and is like, hey, don't kill Ian, he's not the bad guy. And so he goes on this like really long explanation. He basically, like, he knew that there were dinosaurs down there, but nobody really knew what Johnny knew or didn't know. So he's like, he confirms like, yes, okay, there are actually diners. There's diners, drive-ins, and dives down there.
Guy Fieri's down there.
That would be incredible.
Guy Fieri in a mining facility?
Rolling out.
I desperately need someone to just do the footage of Ian walking in for the first time, but instead of the T-Rex, it's just that pink Cadillac with Guy Fieri.
Yeah, so he says it's so hard for me to say dinos down there. That's where that came from. There's dinosaurs down there. There be dinosaurs. And he basically found these files that I'm about to tell you what this movie is actually about. Okay, this is the first twist. Okay, because it's twisty turny. It's loopy doopy from here on. So he found a file folder that says the dinosaurs didn't actually come from underground the way that they thought. The dinosaurs are from outer space.
I mean,
He
I've
starts telling us,
always known that's where dinosaurs
Yeah.
come from.
like, duh, right? That's nothing new.
But in case it wasn't obvious from how much they talk about space in the lead up to this.
About how they literally already told us there was like a planet with dinosaurs on it.
Yeah.
Right. And then he starts. Okay, my subtitles were not great, so I don't totally know if I have this guy's name right. But he basically starts explaining that there is a cult that basically worships this entity named Modar the Undying. I thought they were saying
I think
Modar.
that's right.
It's something like that. I can't remember.
Something like that.
specifically.
Yeah.
Let's stick with Modar. Modar the Undying. And it's like showing, as he's like talking about this, it's like showing us this like statue of supposedly Modar the Undying. And they are sacrificing a guy. Like earlier there was like a little news program about.
There's a thing when they go, he goes to the bar about like them finding remains or whatever. Or I can't remember. Maybe
Like a
they don't
skeletal
find it, or
remains.
they're just saying he's missing. But yeah, there's.
Well, they showed the skeleton,
Yeah.
so they know. Yeah. And they basically show us them sacrificing this guy. And one of my favorite lines was, he was like, "Oh man, is this one of them killing cult or murder cults?" And they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh man." So they sacrifice him. And the reason that they do this, and this cult is led by Dr. Stone and I assume the smoking guy. They're wearing masks, so I'm not really sure. Definitely Dr. Stone is involved with it. And so they sacrifice this guy to be able to spiritually communicate with the planet Tyrannus. So they're connecting to this like higher being through Modar the Undying. I don't know. But basically, I was calling him Grape Head Guy. Is this Modar?
Yes, I believe so. They
Okay.
say it's something of like I forget, but I like Grapehead Guy.
Yeah, well,
I think it's a better name.
I think literally, like, if I say grape head guy, like, you know what he looks like, right? Like, he's a grape head guy. He's just a head, and he's the color of a grape, and he's a guy. And he's basically talking about, because, like, this whole thing with, like, Dr. Stone is, like, again, he's obsessed with the dinosaurs. He wants to be able to be with them, have whatever. And Grapehead Guy is basically just like, well, that's kind of like a lot to ask because they're sacred to us and like we're their guardians and stuff, but you seem cool, so like, okay. And he basically tells Dr. Stone about the portal. And this is when they basically divulge Whammo's part of it. Dr. Stone just loves dinosaurs.
Okay. The Grapehead Guy is the Grand Tyrannite of Tyrannus.
Grand Tyrannite?
Yeah.
Okay. Great, aka Grapehead. Basically, Dr. Stone's entire reason for doing this himself is that he's in love with dinosaurs and he wants to use dinosaur DNA and human cloning to, like, make dinosaur human hybrids. Perfect. His research is being funded by Whammo, who is the soda company, and what they want to do is basically they found out that there's like some kind of unique property in dinosaur blood that if they take the dinosaur blood and put it in the soda and have people drink it, then they'll be able to basically control everybody. And they'll be calling this Whammo Dynamite. Amazing. What a good plan.
I agree.
So
Wish I had thought of it.
Me too,
God,
honestly.
we'd be so rich.
I know.
Yeah.
So the other thing is that behind the scenes, like, Dr. Stone seems, like crazy, but ultimately has everybody's best interest at heart. Whammo basically, though, wants to find the portal, go through, and then kill all of the other grapeheads because they want to just use the blood for mind control or whatever. So they're shady. If you can't believe it about a corporation.
Nah.
I'm shocked.
This is one of also my favorite things in the movie. And so, like, the intern's, like, telling all of this to Johnny Anaconda through the phone. And Johnny's just like standing there like, or whatever. And then he goes, the only thing that I can't understand is why Dr. Stone wants to kill Ian. I've seen plenty of dinosaurs and he hasn't killed me. And then Dr. Stone shows up and goes, because you're my son! And then shoots him in the back. Amazing. I love a dramatic plot twist for no reason. So he's dead now. R.I.P. intern.
Gone too soon.
Yeah. So Johnny hangs up the phone, immediately tells Ian about what's going on. And this is like the scene I was saying earlier where Johnny was basically just like, you remind me of me when I was a Poindexter. He literally calls everybody that's like not cool a Poindexter, which I think is so funny because it's like such an antiquated term, like even for 2018, you know?
Well, not 2013 though when this started.
Okay, fair.
Everyone was Poindexter in 2013.
Yeah, still in the 2013 zeitgeist there. They decide that they're going to team up to save the world. You know, Ian's going to make something of himself, just like his mom wanted. Okay. Now, this scene I thought was like pretty funny too, but it kind of goes on for a while, so I paraphrased it, of course. There's basically just like a scene of one of the miners down in the mine, like calling up to be like,
I forgot about
to like
this.
Dr. Stone being like, essentially, there's like all of these scenes of like dinosaurs killing the miners or whatever. And the miner that's calling is just like, I don't know, people are dying.
We're
like,
running
what's
out
up with
of,
all
we're
the
running out
dinosaurs?
of workers down here. You won't answer your goddamn phone.
Yeah, he's like, also, we found this portal in the break room behind the fridge, and like, I tried to tell you, but you're not picking up your phone, and like, I don't really understand what's going on here. Something with science, and I was like, boy, I feel that.
What
and
a
he's
good
just
place
like,
for a portal to be.
Like, honestly. And he also says, like, the portal's expanding now, and he's basically just like, I don't know, I think I quit. Like, I don't really know what's going on here. It is a very funny scene. So that guy too gave me, not exactly the same, but he gave me like Danny McBride vibes, like the way that his like cadence to talking or whatever. So Dr. Stone basically is like, oh, now he knows where the portal is. Great. So he's going to go down there, and basically the smoking man like makes him sign like a waiver of injury like thing. Like if you go down into this portal and you get hurt, like Whammo's not responsible, which for some reason I found very funny.
Yeah, because it's like right as he's about to walk in it.
Yeah, and so he does it. He goes in. Ian and Johnny are on the way back to the facility. They're kind of having like a little heart-to-heart. And Johnny goes, like, you know, look in the glove box. And Ian pulls out a gun and goes, is that a gun? And then he's like, I'm not going to kill anybody. And Johnny goes, if you don't kill anyone, I'm going to kill everyone. I mean,
it's good logic.
That's not motivation, yeah. So they go to the facility and they, like, suit up because, like we said, the portal is to another planet in space. So they suit up in, like...
just bike helmets.
And, like, I don't even know how to explain what they are. They're just, like
it's almost like containment uniforms, but they look like they're made out of paper.
Yeah, they're, like, really thin zip-up suits that, like, if you were gonna, like, I don't know, go into your app and you thought there was asbestos or something, you would have just like this like little whatever. But somebody wrote in Sharpie like Whammo Corp or something on it, which is great. So they suit up, they go to Tyrannus, the planet, the dinosaur planet, and there's just kind of like a compilation of them shooting at zombies and zombies. Oh my God, where am I? shooting at a bunch of like dinosaurs to like quote unquote metal music.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like, oh man, and Johnny goes, take a break and stretch. Don't want to tear a dactyl. And then there's like all of these pterodactyls, and I was like,
incredible. This is my favorite scene in the movie.
I want this fucking pterodactyl, like, stuffed animal
puppet
fucking thing they have so bad.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's like the swarm of pterodactyls. They're like shooting at it. This is like perhaps, it might be my favorite joke in it because it's like, it's just like such a dumb pun, but timed so well. So the pterodactyls come, they're shooting at them. Eventually they run out of like laser guns or whatever. So Johnny Anaconda is just like fist punching pterodactyls out of the air.
Incredible. It's so good.
It's
It's
great.
like all of the like bad CG we've seen the whole movie flying around him, and then just one stuffed animal hanging from the ceiling that he's punching.
Yes,
That's so
it's
good.
great.
They're like the most insane. Like all the rest of the dinosaurs clearly look like
Like, they look normal.
Yeah. And these
They look like
things-
what you expect.
These things are like essentially look like Terry from Pee Wee's Playhouse, but with like instead of a face, it's just like teeth. It rocks.
Yeah, I loved them.
Good idea.
Yes, and I like to see him punching a tiny pterodactyl out of the air. So they like fight.
Don't we
with
all?
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the dream? Honestly,
Caitlin,
they're like,
are there dinosaurs in this mining facility?
In the mining facility?
Yeah.
I think there might be dinosaurs.
All right, just checking.
But I think they're
this is
in the mining facility.
oh,
I've
this
heard,
is the first
I've
I've heard
tell.
of it. Yeah.
There's a dinosaur in the mining facility.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
But Kate and Katie think so too, right?
No.
They don't think there's dinosaurs?
We're not sure.
What
They
about
called
in
you
the
a
mining-
Poindexter.
What about in the mining facility?
Okay. Now that we were interrupted by that Poindexter. Okay, so they do, more dinosaur fighting or whatever. Eventually, they're confronted by Dr. Stone in the meadow. And he's basically just talking about how, like, unfortunately, he had to sacrifice a few dinosaurs in order to, like, go through with his plan. He had to sacrifice them to the pathetic humans, and this is when he says, "Humans aren't pathetic. We invented Metallica." And I was like,
He's right.
yes,
Yeah, correct.
cannot argue with that logic. This is when essentially he tells them that he's going to populate the Earth. He's got 2,000. Okay. This is crazy. This is the craziest plot twist story that I've ever heard. He basically is going to take all of the dinosaurs from Tyrannus and move them to Earth because Tyrannus is dying, and the Tyrannites will also perish because they're actually the guardians of the dinosaurs, so they're going to come to Earth or whatever. And also, Whammo gave him the power to breathe space air.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I love that, like, during the speech, he's, like, talking, and Ian is like, "What the hell is a Tyrannite?" Because I also didn't know. I asking questions here.
I don't know. It made sense to me.
And
For science,
And then he says, they gave him the power to breathe space air or whatever. And he says, "What do you think PhD stood for?" And I think he says it's Pretty Hungry Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Because then he transforms into a T-Rex. But the T-Rex has
So good.
the scrawniest, longest arms I've ever seen on a T-Rex in my life. It was, like, a little concerning. So he turns into a T-Rex. He starts, like, chasing them or whatever. Johnny Anaconda and, like, launching the chainsaw at him, and then it, like, cuts him in
It's
half.
so fucking cool. What is it that he says? I don't remember what he says, but he does a
can't
full
remember.
spin move and throws the chainsaw 400 feet.
Yeah, I don't remember what he
Yeah,
says,
pretty
but
far.
it's one of the best effects in the movie.
Yeah.
So then it cuts back to Dr. Stone just laying in two different pieces, like as a human, cut in half in the grass or whatever. And they're just like, "Okay, great, like we did it." And so they start walking back, but Dr. Stone is like still alive, so he gets a gun and he ends up shooting Johnny's leg. And then Ian says, "Taste the drink, bitch!" and shoots him and kills him. Taste the drink is great.
Pretty good head
I liked it.
explosion.
Yeah. He shoots him. He's killed somebody now. Ian basically... so Johnny is, like, limping and basically is like, "Oh, I'm
I got
I'm
lasers
holding
in my
you."
leg.
It's just like, "I'm going to just hold you back. Like, you got to go ahead here or whatever." And, of course, Ian is like, no, we can both make it. And is trying to, like, get him to, like, move along or whatever. But Johnny takes off his helmet.
Spoilers going forward for the biggest shock of the entire movie.
Yeah. God, it still blows my mind.
And he like takes off his helmet and he's like, "No, no, you're gonna die." Um, and he said something. He says something like, "I'll never forgive you if you die like my mother," or something like that. And then Johnny Anaconda said, he says like, "I killed your mother, you stupid bastard," or something like that.
And he says it like 5 times.
Yeah.
They keep
I already
showing
killed
it.
your mother.
They keep showing it like over and over again, and then it
But they go
shows
back. Yeah, they go back and
It's
show
just like
him.
wrong place,
and-
wrong time, or whatever.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah,
sorry, kid.
But he's like the same age.
Yeah, no one's aged like 20 years at all.
Spoiler: Johnny Anaconda's a robot.
He's something. He maybe he is Modar the Undying. Maybe that's the twist. What if wow.
I think we just ruined the sequel.
Yeah,
They're listening to us like, God damn it, now I gotta rewrite it.
we're never gonna get a screener.
Sorry. Oh man. So yeah, he basically is just like, I killed your mom, like you go on out, stay here and like do the explosives so I can explode the portal, but you have to like make it back before then go. And so, he yells, I killed your mom a bunch of times. And then Ian starts running away and he goes, I can't believe you killed my mom, you asshole. So Ian is then chased by like hundreds of dinosaurs on his way back to the portal. And he gets through it. And then it shows Tyrannus, the planet, out in space. And it explodes, of course. So then after that, this one got me too. Ian goes to visit his mother's grave at the cemetery, and he's placing flowers on the gravestone, and the inscription says, Ian's mom. Instead of like her name. So then there's like credits, and the credits are like, showing people's face and then saying like what their name is or whatever. After the credits,
but during the credits, you get an incredible song about dinosaurs in a mining facility.
Right, of course. In case you like didn't really pick up on what the movie was about.
Again, your movie is not good if it doesn't have a theme song about the movie.
Right.
Definitely.
Kit and I
agree
learned
about
that. Well, I guess this wasn't a theme song, but Kaiju Glam Metal Shark Attack had a pretty sick song in it about VHS Very Hot Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Banger.
Gelatin Skeleton
So,
Forever.
the entire point of that film.
I agree.
Well, sad I missed it. So maybe that's why I thought this was a Japanese movie. Maybe I just got. Listen, my life has.
I got news for you that Kaiju Glam Metal Shark Attack is also not a Japanese movie.
Wow, did not see that coming. What a twist. Okay, so after the credits, there is a.
You've been hanging out with the baby too much, Katie.
Oh my god. Yeah, so here we are after the credits. And we're back at the mining facility. It shows this like long hallway, and we see a sign on the door that says Dr. Henry Clone instead of Stone, and it's like him behind the door. You see?
Incredible.
I thought it was so funny. So anyways, yeah, I think that's why I said, I think that's why he was like old-timey talking about planets and stuff, because I think he's just been cloned over and over again. So, but naming him Dr. Henry Clone really sent me. Then it zooms out to the spaceship where we see the Grapehead Man, and he basically is like talking to one of his like assistants, and he's like, okay, send a ship to Tyrannus. And so they go there, and this is where they learn that the planet is just gone. And Tyrannus is like, what? Or no, his name's not Tyrannus. His name's Grapehead. Is like upset because he's like, oh my god, you mean all the dinosaurs are gone? Like, what is going on here? And the assistant is basically just like, yeah, nothing's out there except
some guy with a chainsaw floating around.
There's a guy, yeah, and it shoots out to Johnny Anaconda just floating around in the space debris. But it's like they literally took the image of him passing out in the field and then just like superimposed it over space debris, so it was like even
It
funnier.
just looks like he's like sleeping.
Yeah, and then it says to be continued. So, unless I ruined the sequel for everybody, there's going to be a sequel, I assume. I don't know what they will do now.
I've seen some footage from it. It's going to be a banger.
Well, what's it called?
I'm assuming more dinosaurs in another mining facility.
In a bigger mining facility?
Two dinosaurs, two facility.
Mining facility.
There you go. We got there. Listen, they don't even have to pay for that one. They can have it.
Yeah, just
You know,
let me watch it.
the Fast and Furious franchise could have stopped after 2, and it would have still given us so much culturally.
Look, if Universal is not giving us the Fast and Furious Jurassic Park crossover,
Fuckers.
like, the least the sequel could do for this is have somebody driving a car in space.
I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I mean,
They
Johnny
definitely have
Anaconda
the high
driving a
budget
car in
for that.
space with his chainsaw? Come on. The coolest fucking
What if he's driving a giant chainsaw with wheels?
That movie would
Yeah.
EGOT in that year.
Yeah,
Just
100%.
from that.
I think so. They've got the budget to do it. You know, they've got the all-star cast. So I think this could go all the way.
This movie rocks. If you could watch it, go watch it. I don't really know how you're going to do that. But
Yeah,
I think the Blu-ray is sold out, and
I think so.
yeah.
Which makes me sad because I want it now.
I'm wondering because like Justin DeClue's like label Gold Ninja Video is like a mix of I can't think of the term. What is the term when they're no longer copywritten? Public domain. Like
yeah.
public
Public domain,
domain
yeah.
movies, and then like stuff from like just little sort of like indie movies like this. So I'm wondering if they'll do like
Yeah.
another pressing or not. But I got it right before it sold out when Justin was doing like a sale on his website. So I have it and it rocks. The commentary track with Justin and the director, who I believe goes by the name Jordis now. They in the time between the movie coming out and now have come out as trans, and
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, have on Instagram it says Jordan and Jordis, so I'm not sure, but
yeah.
they're very
I also
they're very
saw
nice.
like different
So
spellings of the last name, so
Yeah.
that was confusing. But very
so I'm very stoked for a sequel, because
Same.
when we started talking on Instagram, they'd mentioned something about a sequel, started sending me like weird little animatics, and I was like, fuck yes, I can't wait. It's a banger. Katie, did you look up any news at all at the like month you've been gone?
I don't know any news.
Good. World news doing pretty good. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
doing great.
Everything's fine.
Very good.
All right, Katie, have you watched anything that you want to talk about in the last month?
A little. Excuse me. So when I was talking about dongs earlier, it's because we watched all of The Righteous Gemstones.
Don't spoil anything from season 4 yet. I haven't seen any of it.
Okay. The only thing I was gonna say is that like typically the first season I thought was like really, really good, like super amazing, and the rest of it I still find very good. It's like very funny. Obviously, it is a little raunchier than I normally prefer, and there are a lot of dongs. There are dongs here and there betwixt everything.
It's one of the first things you see in the show, I'm pretty sure, right? It's like
I think so.
Walton Goggins dong.
Yeah. Walton Goggins, for me, obviously, is the shining star of the show. He plays like
Uncle Baby Billy.
their elderly uncle, Baby Billy, and I don't think this is I don't know what season this is. He basically is like, first of all, hilarious. Obviously, his look is just iconic too, and he's like always coming up with these like schemes. So the plot, if you somehow have not seen the show, I highly recommend it. I think it's very funny, but it's basically just like this family who is runs a church, like a mega church, and they're very I don't. They're like beyond famous. They're like prolific, right?
Yeah, like Joel Osteen
Yeah,
kind of shit.
very big because their mother, who is deceased when the show starts, was started as like a singer with Baby Billy, and they would like sing these like church songs, which like I don't really know. One of the songs talks about him running around with a pickle in his mouth, so I don't know about that. However,
Misbehaving. Banger.
misbehaving. I can't get into it. And then it's basically like follows the adult children, and they're all essentially pretty much pieces of shit. Like everybody in the show is like a pretty big piece of shit, essentially. But you know, they love each other, their family, whatever. So that's like the point of it. And Baby Billy is like still trying to like come up with all of these schemes to like make money because he is. How old would you say he is supposed to be? Like
I late 60s, 70, maybe,
he
probably
looks,
something
yeah,
like that.
he's maybe 70s. One of the quote unquote jokes in it or whatever is that he has like a very young wife who I don't know, whatever. So he's always trying to come up with these schemes. And one of the schemes is like a show that he comes up with, and the name of the show. Do you know about it already? The
Yes,
trivia show?
that's
Okay.
season 3, I think.
Okay. It's called Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers, and it's basically like Family Feud, but for Bible stuff. And like, we cannot stop saying Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers. It is so funny.
It's the best combination of words.
It's really
saying
great.
it, trying to say it like him is
Oh, I can't even. He's great.
Baby Billy's Bible Bonkers.
It's like his like weird southern lisp he has. Anyways, so we watched all of that. It was very funny. I highly recommend it. Like, obviously, do not probably watch it around children because it's like it's pretty vulgar, but it's funny.
If you grew up in the South, especially, it really fucking hits. Like,
Yeah.
I've lived down the street from Daystar my whole life, so it was real wild to watch.
Yeah, I bet. But Chris and I keep sending each other like BJ and Keith gifts because they're the best in my opinion.
Yes.
Anyways, so we watched that. We also watched the first 3 seasons of the Fargo TV show. It's fine. I think we kind of maybe won't finish it. I don't know. I feel like there was a couple other shows that I watched. But movie-wise, I only watched a few. One of them was I watched the 2025 Companion, which I actually had no idea what it was about, and I actually ended up really, really liking it.
It seems like the way to go into that movie is to know as little as possible.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so like I said, I did not know of it. I don't know the actress is. Sophie Thatcher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of her just with like no irises or whatever. I was like, I don't know what this is, but I'm in. But then I was like texting Nathan when I was watching it because I was like, the movie immediately starts with them in a self-driving car, and I was like, no, boo, I'm out. But like, I didn't know that like technology kind of was like the point. Anyways, I ended up really liking it. I thought it was great. I'd recommend it. Then I watched a movie from 2024 that had Lucy Liu in it, and it was called just Presence. And I thought it was a big piece of trash. It's a Steven Soderbergh movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was trash. Then I finally watched Get Out.
Oh, it's so good.
I know here we are in 2025. I obviously knew kind of like an outward, like, I knew it had something to do with the, what's it called?
Race?
Like a hypnotism kind of thing, but I didn't know anything else.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I think after watching it finally, it might be my favorite one. It was like so eerie. I loved everybody that was. My only thing, okay, if you somehow have also not seen Get Out, you should just go watch it because, you know, whatever. But I'm going to say this. I gave it a 4.5 stars. I'm going to say a spoiler. The literal only thing that kept me from giving it 5 stars is that I did not trust his girlfriend from the moment I saw her. Like, I obviously didn't know what the movie was about or whatever, but just the way she was acting, I was like, this bitch is up to something.
Yeah, she's a white lady. Duh.
She's up to
Like,
something. Listen, I'm saying. The scene where he is at the party and the guy that they like kidnapped in the very beginning is there with his like his like lady or whatever, and he like takes a picture of him and then he like kind of snaps out of being brainwashed for a minute, like literally gave me chills, which does not happen a lot, obviously. So I thought it was really great. I'm sad I obviously waited so long to watch it, but I finally did it and it was amazing.
You've seen all three of his movies now?
Yeah.
I just couldn't remember if you watched Us or not.
Yeah, I did. Then we watched a movie called Mountainhead, which is like a newer movie, and the only reason
Oh,
we
yeah.
watched the only reason we watched it is because Steve Carell was in it, Jason Schwartzman, and then Corey Michael Smith, who plays the Riddler in Gotham, is in it. And like, I didn't think it was great. Like, there were parts in it that made me laugh. It's not really a funny movie, but it's like just like a bunch of tech bros like speaking tech bro jargon at each other for like an hour, and I was just like, huh? So I didn't care for it. I didn't think it was very entertaining. Chris finally watched Idiocracy for the first time. I watched it with him.
God, it sounds
It was-
so bleak to watch now.
Yeah, I mean, it's still fine. Yeah, I don't know that I would recommend watching it now, to be honest with you.
Okay, so I know we haven't talked about. Katie and I have probably texted a little bit about it. Kit, what's your opinion on this King of the Hill reboot, redo thing?
I don't want it.
I like.
Yeah.
Have you seen the little teaser clip they released? By any chance?
I saw something on Facebook, and I was just like,
They're like they released like a little like 1 minute clip that is Hank and Peggy at like the George W. Bush Museum, and Hank is so stoked
Oh, I didn't see that.
about George W. Bush, and I was like, there was an episode about how he did not vote for W because he had a weak handshake.
Yeah.
He doesn't like him, and now I'm like really, really upset that I have a feeling they're gonna be like, Hank voted for Trump. He loves Trump because,
Oh.
like, Mike Judge is a weird fucking dipshit libertarian, and I'm like, I'm
You know
just like
what?
not. I don't know. I at first I was like, oh, I'd like to see what these characters are up to now, but now I'm just like, I don't know.
And like
Well-
half of the cast is dead too, so
Yeah.
like,
well, I mean, luckily, like, I think the guy that played Dale died in the middle of recording, but I think
I think like half of the episodes.
but the guy
He's
like
in
the
it.
guy that fucking Artie from Pete and Pete is replacing him. Who
Oh yeah, Toby
Okay.
yeah,
Huss.
I couldn't think of his name.
Unfortunately, also voiced Khan Supernuisson Phone.
Yeah, you know.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
look,
Well,
like the '90s in the animation world
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Not
Yeah.
not really great with who they would cast for
right.
other
Yeah.
like minority characters or whatever.
Yeah.
yeah. I also like I've seen posts like that people are like, I don't know why you guys like King Hank Hill would definitely have voted for Trump, whatever. And this last
I don't think that's
time-
true.
No, and like I never
Bill would.
thought
No one else in that friend group would.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bill
yeah.
100% would.
Bill
Boomhauer
Bill's
doesn't
like a fucking
vote.
idiot.
Dale would write in
No.
like himself.
Yeah.
But like I've never thought about that when I was watching the show, because like obviously why would I want to? And this very
Right.
last time, like Over Us Moving, that's the show I picked to rewatch just because like I could just put it on in the background no matter where it was. And obviously because of the stuff that's going on right now, I did have that in mind as I'm watching the show, and I was like, no, he definitely wouldn't. Like, are you guys watching the same show as me? Like,
Right.
I don't know. But so who the fuck knows?
Yeah. Was there anything else you were going to talk about?
I don't think so.
All right.
Let's say
What
no.
about you, Kit?
Let's see. I finally watched The Meg 2, which is trash. It sucked. Like, they just remade the first movie, but worse until the last 30 minutes when they're like, oh, we should do all of the cool shark stuff now. Which, like, an hour and a half into a movie is too fucking late.
Mhm.
Yeah, don't watch it. Bad. I saw the TV Glow, which fucking
It's
slaps. It was
so
so
good.
fucking good, and Jesus Christ, absolutely crushing.
Yeah, the
Uh,
fucking monologue that Jack Haven does in that fucking, I can't, like the little
yeah,
tent thing in the
with
school is
yeah, they're
fucking,
talking about being buried alive
yeah,
and shit.
that, and then the fucking one on the bleachers is like, so
Yep.
it's brutal.
Then I went and saw 28 Years Later yesterday, and it fucking rips.
I
I
had I never saw 28 Weeks Later, and I don't think I've seen
I didn't
28
either.
Days Later in like 20 years. So, but
Uh,
everyone's been saying
I
this one's good, so I might have to give it a watch.
I only watched Days for the first time like a year ago, 2 years ago, maybe, because it was like
Yeah.
impossible to watch anywhere.
Yeah.
Because Sony was like, fuck it, it's not streaming. You can't buy a Blu-ray. Like, fuck you.
Forget it
But
existed, actually.
right, but yeah, I thought Days was great, and I never saw Weeks. Like in high school, I watched just the scene where there's a bunch of infected in like a field, and someone's flying a helicopter, and they just like mow over a bunch of them with the helicopter blades, which was insane. Uh, so it's not like anything I'm super precious about, and I wasn't like stoked when they announced 28 years later. But in the lead up, it's like, this looks pretty good, and then went and saw it, and I was pretty blown away, to be honest. It's so weird. Danny Boyle is so weird and has such a unique, like, hella 90s vibe to everything.
Hmm.
Like, it's just really, really refreshing to watch.
That's one I'll watch whenever it hits streaming. But it was like I liked 28 Days Later. I saw it in theaters, and like I bought it on DVD when it came out. But it was one of those things where like I don't know if like I probably bought it and rewatched it, and I don't know if I've watched it since. And
Yeah.
so like I don't know, and like everyone I think when 28 Weeks Later came out was like this sucks. I was like I'm not gonna bother. So, but I don't know. I'll probably give it a watch. Honestly, I'll probably give all three a watch whenever the new one hits streaming. At this point, all I give a fuck about is I want to see Friendship. So I need A24 to ship my fucking Blu-ray immediately.
So I'm so excited to watch it
Yeah,
again.
I can't. I'm fucking dying to see it. So, let's see. I don't remember if I talked about this in the last episode, but I watched the dirtier cut of Dirty Work, and
Yeah.
it's I don't know. It's fine. It's not as good. I don't know if it's just like I don't know. I think the sense of humor in the PG-13 cut is better because it's more vague. But I also watched the assembly cut that's like 2 hours, and there's some like extremely funny shit that like is in that got cut out. Like there's so many more note to self jokes in it and shit, and like I don't know. The assembly cut's kind of interesting. It's it's a mess because it's literally just like the first like cut of putting the whatever footage they had in order. So there's like scenes that play out like too long. There's no music in it. Like some of the voiceover shit is like not there. So it's kind of weird to watch, but it's interesting to see that they even still had it. I got my Blu-ray of Albert Pune's director's cut of Captain America, and it rocks. Like I wanted to try to give like the original cut a rewatch because I had seen it in a while, but my memory of it was that it's like like out of order timeline wise, and like that Captain America is a massive coward throughout the entire thing, and the director's cut everything is in relatively chronological order. Captain America's not fucking hiding behind car doors and rocks the entire movie, so pretty good. Would recommend. I watched the Titan Ocean Gate submersible disaster documentary on Netflix, and it's
Hell yeah.
fucking unhinged. Like, I like the timeline of all that shit is fucking bonkers to see laid out, and like how many people were like, "Hey, this is a bad idea. Maybe don't do this." And like, there's an interview in it with some fucking YouTube streamer dude that that I have never heard of before, but is apparently popular. That like went in the sub like that they were getting ready to like go down in the sub and had to like come back up because of weather, and it was like the day before the sub exploded, so more than likely they would have gone down and it would have exploded. And they have this interview with him and he just looks fucking shell-shocked talking about it, because like they're showing him like footage of some of like the wreckage finally like getting brought up, and he's like, my feet were on that, like in the water.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's fucked up. And then today I watched Omar and Cedric, If This Ever Gets Weird, this documentary about Omar and Cedric from the Mars Volta and At the Drive-In, that is extremely good. Like, apparently Omar has just been like filming like his life and shit going on in his life since he was 7, so they have like insane amount of footage, including like footage of the punk show that like they met at, which is like insane.
That's fucking crazy.
But like you get towards the end of the documentary and they go into some of the shit of like Cedric getting like sucked into Scientology, and like his wife being one of the people that like reported Danny Masterson for like assault and shit, and like it gets real fucking heavy, but it's like just like wild to see them talk about. So you watch that for free on Canopy if you're interested, if you have a library card. But it's I would recommend it if you're at all interested in like it's one of the most fascinating like documentaries about like musicians I've ever watched, solely because how much footage they have of like their career. Other than that, fucking season 33 of Survivor. And then I think I watched the whatever episodes are currently streaming of this new fucking reboot of Cutthroat Kitchen, and it's not very good.
Oh no, I forgot to tell you that trying to watch that, and it is not good.
I will still watch it because like I don't know, I like some of the premise, but like without Alton Brown it's just not the same.
Yeah, and like I don't mind Brian Malarkey. When you told me he was going to be host, I was like, oh, that'll be great. I think he's not good at reading cue.
No, he's just not like. I think the difference is that like Alton Brown seemed like he genuinely enjoyed fucking over the chefs, and like Brian's, I don't know, he's trying too hard.
Yeah, he seems very much like don't be mad at me, kind of like I want to be everyone's friend guy. And
I did watch one where like they had to do surf and turf, and somebody got stuck cooking with like hot dog rollers. It was fucked up. Like the duck breast kept just like they were trying to cook kept just like rolling off the rollers. So it was, I like that shit. I do like still, but yeah, I don't know. It's just not the same.
No, definitely not.
All right, Katie, will you a shout out?
I'm gonna go with the classic, which is anti-shout out. Moving. I'm just
Moving.
kidding.
Pretty fun.
I'm like that's legit. But trying to think of anything new I've done. Did you? I'm sure you already shouted out the new Callous Cowboys.
I don't remember if I did, but it's good.
Well, that great. Also, I guess I've read a few books this year. Let me see if any of them is worth recommending. Well, so I joined a local horror book club, and I went to the first meeting last week, and the theme, normally it's like they pick a book, obviously that's what a book club does, you like pick a book and you discuss it, but they decided to do Summer of King, so like you could read any Stephen King you want. So I found nobody really wanted to talk about
Dreamcatcher,
the problematic things.
Oh, well.
And so, but it was like interesting because some of the people there, it was like their first time reading a Stephen King book. So like it just wasn't. It wasn't like it was either like people weren't familiar with him or people like me were like too familiar with him, and it was still really fun. Like I'm glad I went. But essentially, what I read for that, most people, I would say the majority of people only read one book, and of course, I read multiple. So I did finally read Carrie for the first time. It was fine. Like I guess I could see if like when it very very first came out reading it and thinking it was spooky, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just like too much. Maybe I just know too much about it. I was just kind of like, yeah, it's fine. I did like though Sissy Spacek did the audiobook version of it, and she obviously it was like a good choice. And then I also read A Good Marriage, which I really liked. I liked the movie also. I read The Colorado Kid, which I thought was really lame and boring. I read The Body, which of course is the story that Stand By Me is written. It's a novella. I think just watch the movie, to be honest with you.
Yeah, just watch all the
and
movies.
Then, of course,
Stephen King movies, all good.
Really good. And then of course I read Riding the Bullet, which I cannot remember if I read when we did Riding the Bullet, but again, highly recommend just watching the movie, if not just for David Arquette. And then that was it for like that. So that was like what I did most recently. Okay, then the book that I want to recommend is not Stephen King. Don't worry, we're done with him. Everybody picked pretty much things that you would expect. Like somebody did Misery, somebody did Salem's Lot. So it was like pretty typical stuff. Nobody did Dreamcatcher though, surprisingly. I should have said, do you guys actually know what his best book is? It is Dreamcatcher. Please
Yeah, correct.
read it. The book that I want to recommend is called
Cell.
The Spirit Bears Its Teeth. Huh?
Cell.
Oh my god, somebody read Cell.
Oh,
Somebody
no.
did read Cell.
Every time they leave Tubi on in the break room at work, I either put fat or thinner on now.
That's so funny. Yeah, no, somebody read it, and I was like biting my tongue. They basically, I have not read that book, so I don't really know. I mean, it sounds like pretty much the same or whatever, but I really wanted to, I should have said like, oh, you should go watch the movie. There just were like so many people that like, you couldn't just like interject for everything, you know? And then again, I wasn't trying to seem like a know-it-all new person, so I just kind of like tried my very best to like not say anything either way. But I did tell everybody to go watch the movie Riding Bullet, so hopefully we'll see some. I don't even know if it's streaming, but no, the book that I actually want to recommend is called The Spirit Bears Its Teeth, and it's by Andrew Joseph White. And it was definitely one of the best books that I've read this year so far. 5 stars all the way. It is basically set in like 1800s London, and it is about a trans boy who I think like exhibits signs of autism, and basically there's like all of this, there's like a bunch of like spiritual stuff going on behind the scenes, where there's like a society that can talk to spirits, and then like there's like a bunch of stuff going on with that. But essentially like the core of the book is about him, the main character, being sent to like a finishing school for girls because the family's trying to like arrange marriage him, and like obviously he doesn't want that. He wants to be a doctor. And it's basically just like most of the book takes place at this finishing school, and like dealing with like, you know, like how he's being perceived by the world around him, but these spirits, and then also the girls in the finishing school. And it just was like devastating and amazing and written really well. So like if anyone's trying to read something like a little bit different, it definitely was different, but it was like, I really cannot say enough good things about it.
All right, what about you, Kit?
I'm gonna go with The Convalescence Agonies by Weeping Sores. The new album. It fucking rocks.
Oh yeah,
Sounds like reality.
I like their
to me.
first album was really good.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, it feels like it's been forever, but
Yeah.
this one finally dropped and it is so good.
I'm gonna shout out Alien novels.
How many
Hell
have
yeah.
you read at this point?
Let's see.
70.
I read all of the movie ones except Prometheus because it's only in Japanese for some reason.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Cannot believe that.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to read it so bad, but like, and everybody that I've come across, it's like I'm in the process of translating it. That was like 6 years ago or some shit that never got updated.
Look, there's a lot of words.
So let's see. I did Aliens 3, Resurrection, Covenant, and then Covenant Origins, and then Isolation, and then I've 3, 4, 5. I think I'm 6 into the stuff in the omnibus ones,
Okay.
something like that. Because there's like the first
There's a few omnibuses,
I think
right?
there's 7 of them, and I'm on the 3rd one right now.
Jesus.
Yeah, I just. Well, the first one's 3 books, and then the rest of them are 2 each. Because I think they're like by author, but I'm on one now called Rogue that's about a scientist that is trying to breed a docile xenomorph, but he's using like all the people on this like military base as like pawns and shit, and he's got like heads in jars that are still alive. I don't know, it's fucking weird, but he creates a xenomorph that, the way it is described in the book, the head of the xenomorph is bigger than a human body, so he's fucking huge. And the cover of the book, he's got weird little dangling hairs that look like fucking like you remember the haircut in like the early 2000s that girls would have that was like shaved in the back, but it had the 2 like long parts like by the temples. That's what like, it's got that shit. I don't know. It's like, so far none of the books in the omnibus ones have been like great, but they've all been good. Like, they all have like really interesting ideas, but some of them are just a little too long and some feel like too short. Like one of the books had this really interesting sort of plot that was essentially like, there was like, one of the omnibus dealt very specifically with xenomorph royal jelly that people were trying to get, and like some company turned into like a fucking energy booster thing that was weird. But one of them,
Hell yeah.
one of
Dynamite.
yeah, basically,
I literally was gonna say that.
but one of them dealt with like these people trying to do like a heist on this like alien, like a xenomorph homeworld. That was like pretty fun because it was essentially like a heist movie with xenomorphs. But I don't know. I'm like, so far none of them have been specifically bad, but none of them I've been like, oh, this is a 5-star book. So I think
one I really am looking forward to is Alien Uncivil War.
yeah.
Ooh.
I am very patiently trying to get to some of the ones that my library has that are the audiobooks, because I'm trying to read them in order, but these goddamn fucking omnibus, too big. And I'm like,
books are too
I'm
long.
like, oh, I can get like 2 chapters in a day. Well, the one I'm reading now, like, some of them have been interesting, because like one of them was like, I don't know, a book that was like, on my like library app where the page is like the size of the screen. The book was like 350 pages, and it was 73 chapters. So every chapter was like between 1 and like 7 pages. But the one I'm on now, every chapter is like 30 pages, and I'm like, I just like try to read them anytime I'm like, I'm gonna look at like social media, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna open this and like read a little bit. So the one I'm reading now, where the chapters are like longer than usual, is taking me a while, because I'm like, oh god, 30 pages, no thank you.
I like 30. Yeah, I'm reading a book right now on Kindle, and so Kindle does a thing where it changes your reading speed, and it'll tell you when you start a chapter, like, there's 6 minutes left in this chapter based on how fast you read. And I read pretty fast, obviously. I'm reading a book right now that feels like such a slog, because the chapters are literally, for me, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, usually if I'm reading in the morning, I'll read at least like 20 to 30 pages is like my normal, like, drinking coffee or whatever. But I don't know why, for some reason, for me, it feels so slow if 30 pages is one chapter versus it being multiple chapters. Like, obviously that actually doesn't matter, Maybe it's the same thing though, where it's like I would rather watch like 45-minute episodes of something than like a 2-hour
Right,
movie.
yeah.
You know what
It
I
doesn't
mean?
make
Like,
any
I
sense
don't know.
except like in your brain.
Yeah.
Like, I have like 1 or 2 nights a week. Like, usually when I'm off, like, because I'm on like a different schedule than Caitlin, I will stay up throughout the night and like read so I could like knock out a like sometimes like some nights I could like knock out like an entire one of these books. But it's like some of them, it's like I'll read a chapter and be like, all right, I need to do anything else. And then like come back like 30 minutes later and read another chapter. But it's like, it's such a bummer when I'm like, oh my God, I've been reading this book all week. And then like I look at the actual pages when it's not like the phone version. I'm like, 230 pages? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is it taking me so long? But I don't know. Overall, I would recommend at least the ones I've read so far. I'm really interested to get to the one that's all about Vasquez, just solely because I want to know what the fuck that book's about. But I'm trying to read them in order because I know, like, some of them tie together and shit. And I am very interested to get into, like, whatever the Alien versus Predator books are like. Alright. I think Katie and I are going to record something later in the week so that I can drop this tomorrow. But I have an idea for the next time all three of us record, which is that I realized the director of Tsunami has 4 other movies on Tubi, including one called Ghosters Phantom Patrol that is clearly a ripoff of Ghostbusters.
All right,
I'm sorry. What is it?
Ghosters Phantom Patrol that has a ghost with like the no symbol, but the no symbol is a triangle for, I'm guessing, copyright reasons.
Okay.
He also has a movie called Killer Witches from Outer Space that is also on Tubi that I know is going to rock. And then like 2 fucking shitty looking dinosaur movies that I'm not as excited to get to, but I definitely want to watch Ghosters Phantom Patrol, and then we can make Katie watch Tsunami.
Nah.
You deserve it.
I thought I was immune.
Like, I don't know why is that Caitlin brought up Tsunami earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, I wonder if that's like streaming anywhere yet. And it is.
God, thanks a lot, Caitlin.
All right. If you'd like to support us, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/hypestufferpodcast. You can leave us a rating and review on iTunes and Spotify. I turned off comments on Spotify because 2 of you freaks left comments.
Oh, who would do that?
They were good, but I was like, no thank you. No comments on Spotify.
Not dealing with it.
I listened to like some of the fucking political podcasts I listen to. It's like impossible to not see the comments sometimes, and I get sucked into it. I'm like, God damn it, turn this shit off.
Yeah.
You can follow Kit at Kitstery and Kitchification of Blood. How's that Doom game coming? You already beat that? I asked that last week.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I beat it. I'm going back to it occasionally, but the new Elden Ring multiplayer game is taking a hold of me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I assume same for Katie.
It is unfortunately not really my thing, and also the sessions are like 45 minutes long, and I'm like, I can't be beholden to that. Like,
it is always 45 minutes. Like,
yeah.
No, thank you.
I can't do that.
You follow Katie.
But I support it. I support it.
Shut
yeah.
up! I'm trying to plug your shit.
No.
Follow Katie at Werewolf Face. You can join Katie's Patreon. Patreon.com/werewolfface. Just pretend I didn't just butcher all that. You listen to my other podcast, Nate K Movie Club. Alright. We should be somewhat back to normal now that Katie has got a third house. Richie Rich over here.
A third.
Yeah, she's living in all of these homes.
Katie's other house.
Yep.
Every time we say she moves, she's just buying a different
Katie's
house.
other house got
That's
taken
right.
over by cats, so she had to move.
Yeah, we had to bail. We were like, oh, it's easier to just
They
move.
they have
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah.
The house belongs
It's
to
the
the
cat's
cats.
house. Yeah.
All right. I hope you have dinosaurs in your mining facility, but why?